I imagine in this moment, as the scroll is being held out and the question is who is worthy, that it was silent. It doesn't say that, it's just the way I'm picturing it. Worthiness. What does the word worthy mean? Why can't anybody just take this scroll and open it? Well, right in the word worthiness, worthy is the word worth. What's it worth? For one thing to match up to another thing, they have to be of equal value or equal worth. I remember as a kid, about my kid's age, I used to collect baseball cards. We'd spend all day in school trying to make a deal that was worth it to both people. Of course, you always wanted to get one up on your friend, but you try to make it as worth it as it could be. If you have a child and you're about to give that child into marriage, you want to make sure that their spouse is worthy of them. Right? We're told not to be unequally yoked. We need to have the same set of values. We need to know Christ as our Savior and Lord. We need to be worthy of each other. For job qualifications, when there's a job listing, you look for candidates who meet the qualifications, who are worthy of the job. Not only the best candidate, the one with the most worth, but the one who is able to carry out what needs to be done. In the Olympics, just to badger the example, the most worthy people compete to represent the country, once again, because they are the most worthy to be there, and they are the ones with the best chance to bring home the medal. If the world needs saving and evil needs conquering and judging, you need somebody suitable to the task. It would only take a perfect person, someone who's perfectly qualified for the task, because a sinful person is not qualified to judge other sinful people. Only a perfect person could enact judgment righteously. And who is it? John realizes it's not himself. He also looks around and realizes it's not the 24 elders. There's speculation on who this is. Personally, I believe it's the 12 sons of Israel and the 12 disciples. We won't be dogmatic about it. It probably represents them, but it represents the saints who have died and are reigning with Christ right now. And he looks around. They're on thrones and they have crowns, and yet they are not worthy to take the scroll. No one is worthy to bring to fruition God's plan of salvation, the restoration of the world. Do you think you're worthy? In the news this last couple weeks, I've heard two public statements that really paint this picture. One from a politician, and I'm not going to say his name, and I'm also not going to, that's up to God to judge him, but I will say the statement is telling, and because it's in the news, it's worth repeating. He says, "I'm telling you, if there is a God, when I get to heaven, I'm not stopping to be interviewed. I'm heading straight in. I have earned my place in heaven. It's not even close." He thinks he's worthy. There's a movie out about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a show I grew up with as a child. And his wife tells a story about when he's on right at the end of his life, and he looks at her and he asks her, "Am I a sheep?" And she would explain that what he means is he a sheep or a goat, if you're familiar with that story that Jesus tells. The sheep are the children of God, and the goats are the ones that are not. And after all the good this man did, and all the kindness he shared, and all the imaging forth of Christ he did, he wasn't sure he was a sheep. She replied to him, "If anyone's a sheep, it's you." Now, there's no way for me to judge that statement. If she means, because of all the good you've done, of course you're a sheep, well then she's of course wrong. But maybe if she's just reminding this Presbyterian minister, "Honey, you know you're saved by grace through faith. It's not your own doing, it's a gift of God. Yes, you're a sheep if you believe that." But the point is, whether you think you measure up or you're not sure, the truth is we don't. We're not worthy. Our worthiness has nothing to do with the work we've done or how we feel about the work we've done. He says, "Stop crying. There is one who's worthy," and he enters the scene, and this worthy is the Lamb who was slain. See, when faced with our own unworthiness and the tears that it brings and the distress over it. We are called to look to another who is worthy. This beautiful picture of Jesus Christ, the Lion of the tribe of Judah.